All right, guys, so this question will be very similar. It's question number 2, and unfortunately I didn't do a very good job of taking the picture, so I'm going to have to read it. If you have printed it out, it'll be easy for you to see. But this says that public health statistics for 2009 indicate that 20.6 of American adults smoke cigarettes. Blech. So 20.6 of American adults smoke cigarettes is what it says. So that is my mean that I'm expecting. So I'm going to go back over here. And again, I'm not very good at drawing the curve with these small numbers. So what I'm expecting in any number set is that 20.6 of my people are going to smoke cigarettes. And then it says, I'm going to, using the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, describe the sampling distribution model for the proportion of smokers among a randomly selected group of 50 adults. So my sample size is 50 adults. So what this means, anytime you find a group of 50 people, you are expecting the fact that 20.6 of them, in average, over the entire population smoke. But, that's going to change for every sample set. So the first thing we're going to do is find our standard deviation. Now, to find your standard deviation, you're doing PQ over N. So our P is this 20.6. And if you take your calculator and you do 1 minus 0.206, which is your 20.6, that means your Q value in this problem is 0.794, meaning 79.4% of the population does not smoke. So to find your standard deviation, you take your P, you multiply by your Q, and you divide by your sample size, which is N. So in this case, as I go through to type that in, it's going to be 0.206, don't round, times 0.794, divided by your 50. So pause the video if needed. Go ahead and type that in to make sure that you can get it. I got that my standard deviation of this problem is 0.057, meaning any sample is going to deviate from the mean on average by about 5.7%. So I'm going to do the same thing with my curve. I'm going to go up with my 68% in red. I'm going to go to my 95% in blue, and then 99.9% of my data falls in the, I think I did green last time, so I'll do green again and stay consistent. So you're going to take remember that your standard deviation was 0.057. So take your 0.206 and add a 0.057. So that is going to get me the fact that this is 0.263. Add in another 0.057. So that number right here is going to be 0.32. And then add in another 0.057. And that my green value here, 3 standard deviations above the mean, is 0.377. We're going to do the same thing on the low end. We're going to subtract our standard deviation. So go back to your black 0.206 and subtract out 0.057. That's going to give me 0.149. Subtract out another 0.057, which is going to give you your 0.092. And subtract out another 0.057, and that's going to give you 0.035. So I come up with my 3 numbers again. So I have 68% of my data falls within these 2 numbers. I have 95% of my data falls in this range, which was from 9.2% of the group and 32% of the group. And then 3 standard deviations, it would be very rare to fall outside of 3.5% of my group of 50 or 37.7% of my group of 50. So for your 68%, that would be in your red. Your 95% of my data would fall within the blue values, and 99.7% would fall within the green values. I'm going to go back to ask my question. Would you be surprised to find out the sample of population of 50 adults, 22 of them were smokers? So we're going to take that number to find our p-hat, which again was 22 out of 50. Which is 44%. So hopefully, if you guys are understanding the data right now, you're going to know the answer. Are you going to be surprised? So 44%, where does that fall on our normal curve? Boy, that falls way over here where we can't even see it, doesn't it? So I guess I'd be really surprised. But you can't just say, yeah, I can be surprised. You know, in statistical data, right now is a perfect example. If Governor DeWine stood up in front of us every day and said, yeah, I was surprised, but didn't give us any numbers, people would not listen to him as well, even if they're listening to him well now. You know, he would not have enough backing. So I'm going to go below the curve because I know this answer is going to be like 99.9999999% what it looks like. I'm going to go below the curve. You could go above the curve and it's going to be a really teeny tiny number. It's all in your wording of your sentence at the end. So you got to find your z-score. Now that was 44%. So take your p-hat, subtract out what you're supposed to be getting, which is 0.206, and divide by your standard deviation was 0.057. How many standard deviations are we away from the expected mean right now? If I come up with this calculation, I am 4.1 standard deviations above the mean. That's a really rare situation in a normal curve. So what you're going to type in your calculator is your normal, CDF. Now, decide if this is a low bound or a high bound. Obviously, this was going here, and we were going way over this way. There is no low bound if I do it this way. And then my high bound would be my 4.1. High is on the right side. So go to your normal CDF curve. Your low bound is negative 9999999, a whole bunch of nines, doesn't matter how many. And your high bound is your z-score, which was 4.1. And I now, again, get my answer as 99.9% of the time, less percentage than, well, wait 1 second, please. 44% of the population would be smokers. Will join, my son chose to join the activity. I apologize for the noise. But hopefully that helps. Now I'm going to do question number 3 and question number 4 on the Google Meet on Tuesday. And what I would recommend is having them done, trying them, double check your answers, and we'll go from there. The problem set is also due next week, which is very similar in nature to these questions. If you guys have questions, send me a message. Hope you guys are doing well. Bye-bye.